and we're live. We are now live. Go ahead.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the season 2 after show finale of Forever and a Day. I'm your host, Matthew Preston, alongside my co-host, Dorell Anthony. Hey, Dorell, how you doing?
Hey, baby, how are you? I'm so glad to do this with you one more time. How's everything going?
I am super excited. I can already feel the energy from this show. It's going to be an amazing episode, right? Before, there's a little behind the scenes. We were discussing salads. We were talking about food. I'm already excited about that. However, you haven't had a salad yet? Is that what you're saying? In a long time?
No, I have had a salad. Don't try to play me. I have eaten healthy all week long. But no, I haven't eaten today yet. Yeah, everything got to be right. I got to get this summer about it because, hot girl summer. That's what they say.
Oh, so. Listen, I'm already looking out the window and it's here. It's coming before you know it.
I love that.
But you know what else is coming?
What's coming?
An amazing show to talk about, the Forever and a Day season 2 finale. And we have some fantastic people who actually created the show, who actually wrote the show, who actually produces the show. So let's bring them on one by one. Casey Hutchison, the co-creator of Forever and a Day. We have Candice Mack, co-writer of Forever and a Day. We have Emmy Morgan, co-writer of Forever and a Day. And we have, where is he? James Lott Jr. There he is, the producer of Forever and a Day and the producer of JLJ Media, which Forever a Day is blessed to be upon. Welcome, everyone.
Hey, you killed that, friend. I was like,
hey. That was good.
You know how I do.
Resale.
I love it. Hey, everybody. It's so good to have you guys on. I love all of you very dearly. Number one, because you give me words to say and you have kept me on the show. And number two, James, before we get started, I want to thank you because you created this amazing network for Forever and a Day to exist. So without you, we wouldn't have a network to be on. And without you, Casey, we wouldn't have Forever and a Day. So special thanks to both of you right off the bat.
And real quick, I do want to say that next week actually marks 1 year since I pitched it to James. So James, thank you.
Yeah, it's funny because this month is a lot of anniversaries for me. I guess my birthday month, I started things. I don't know what was going on. But last year I had nothing to do, so to speak, because everything was locked down in Los Angeles. So I started a network. I was like, well, let's just do that as a network. But Casey came to me, and it was really fun. I'll never forget that. We talked about it, and he sent me the first original script, and I was very impressed. And not just before another show, but I was very impressed. I was like, this young kid wrote this script, really wrote this script, and he knew. I read his books. He knows I did. He's on my other shows with his books, but he actually read a script is different, and he really did know the soap genre. I mean, I've been watching soaps before all y'all were born, and so I know soaps. I know how they write. I know what the tropes are. I know what the standards are. I know what the pitfalls are, and it was entertaining. I was like, this is really entertaining. I'm like, I said, I told him, I said, let's do it. I had no idea what the fuck we were going to do. I had no idea. I can test my own network. I don't know what the fuck we were going to do. And I didn't know how it was going to look. I had no idea how we were going to do it. I mean, seriously, Case and I had to figure this out. I mean, it was something that I didn't even, it was not really, and see, I'm going to say this, and again, because it's my network and I can say this. To all those folks out there who've come after us and are getting more attention, we started some of the stuff first. We started the way we do it. No one else did the way we were doing it. Casey Craig started that whole thing, and I followed suit and did my own way with it also. Some of the ways that we're doing it were not being done that way before. It's always like, record your lines here, just send them in. We decided to bring in the whole aspect of having a set online atmosphere. A lot of producers came in and said, wow, we never thought of it before. And I'm like, yeah, we did. So I'm just going to say that this is Shady Sunday. But I would say that we figure out a way to build community, and that's what James Lott Jr. is all about. That's what I've been doing that for the last 14 years in the business, and I want my network to be about community, and that's what. And so Casey and I started creating community, and that's why I said get to Candice.
Could ever come for any of y'all. I mean, come on now, really? That's
Ooh.
first off. But my question for Casey and for James, did that original pitch with the pilot, did it have the under the desk Jonah scene in it?
Yes.
Oh
So-
my gosh.
So if you you know, if anybody tuned in to when we were on the locker room, when some of us were on there, which by the way, you know, shout out to Alan Locker, we all love him.
Yes.
And he was kind enough to have us on. But so I kind of, if you watch that, you know how that scene came about. I felt the script before I sent it off to James. I felt that it needed a little extra something to grab and, you know, some attention. And so I remember
Grab something, all right.
Yeah, grab something.
They did release some tension.
So I was sitting on my couch. It was really hot that day. I remember I was watching Ina Garten's Barefoot Contessa. I was reading over the script. She was making butternut squash and baked farro. And I just started
I
reading
just
the script.
can't.
And I was like, you know what? That Stephanie Jonah thing, huh? You know, I could really beef that up because it was originally just like them in bed or something. And I was like, you know what? Let's start in his office. Okay, well, there's a desk in the office naturally. And I was like, there we go. So that's how it came to be.
Well, you know, and the thing is, and you know, I think they know me a little more now because I loved the season ending for this season. I'm big, bold, brassy, loud. I like to draw attention, sure, why not? And it's audio drama. It's something different. You can't visually see something. You can't rely on props. I wanted something. When I read that scene, yes, my mouth dropped, but then I was like, well, I've done it before. And then I was like, you like have this on this. I think it'll be a great grab. You know, like my fans know my life. I don't hide nothing.
Your only fans, James. Your only fans.
I don't know. We don't do OnlyFans. That's I don't do horror films. I don't do that.
Absolutely not.
That will not do.
I cannot.
I am dead.
This is all covered in Keith Haring today. But I felt like, and how I am now, all of my shows, I like shockers. I like big gold moves. And that to me, that was ballsy. I mean, literally.
Yeah, literally.
I thought, why not? And that'll grab attention. But then I figured, I'm going to trust Casey, and that it's not going to be just an attention grabbing thing, but also the rest of the show will follow suit and be really good. So after a while, that'll be a footnote. That'll be something like, yes, remember when it started and did that, but then the rest of the season will, and which it did. So which is good.
Yeah, and that was in large part due to the fact that I, you know, for writing 4 initial episodes, you know, Candice came on, which, you know, that was really born out of, you know, James and I already being friends with this amazing lady, and then, you know, knowing her history about soaps. And she came on and she was like, okay, I see a bigger vision for this. You know, I see something more for this. And so she really came in and helped me polish things up. And she really helped shore up some loose ends. So to have her as the co-EP and co-head writer in the trenches with me, literally staying up sometimes until like 4 a.m. writing a script was amazing. And, you know, sure, look, everybody gets on us for a mistake here and there. And we are the first to admit it. That season 1, there were some quality issues, but, you know, you're learning a new format. And so you're producing a show. It's me and Candice. We're producing a show, distributing it for James, taking in his very accurate, very polished notes. And so now with the second season, you know, we kind of upped our game a little bit. We got the fabulous Emmy Morgan. And so things have really happened for us. But that's all due to the fact that we had to stumble in our first season in order to get to the type of quality that we are now. And is it as polished as it can be? No, but I think we're definitely getting to a point where we finally do know what we're doing with this animal.
Hold on. Oh, go ahead.
Here's the thing. There's no such thing as perfection. And I
exactly.
There's no such thing as that. And the fact that you have to understand that we started something and followed through. There's we all know, all of us here know somebody who has talked about something for 10 years and ain't done shit about it.
I know that's right.
We did it, but we actually did it follow through. We've all of us have started things. We've all have podcasts. We've all done shows. It's not easy work. I mean, it's like you don't just wake up, I'm gonna do a podcast, and then go out of bed. No, you have to plan the show. You have to work it out. And so I was learning from Casey some stuff. So I made some mistakes on my early shows too. Like it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. The point is, can you stand by the product as a whole? Is it something that's worth listening to, minus the bumps here and there? Yes, you can stand by it. It's actually decent. It's fine. You'll hear it get better and go on the journey with us.
Right. I mean, for me, one thing I have to say, this whole show is a love letter to soaps, right? You guys created something, and Casey, you're editing and you're doing things, learning new tools, which I think is really great. And fuck those people out there, I have to say it, who have something to say about any season. Listen, James, I remember when I first met you and I was telling you how insecure I was after the first season of Pride. We had lighting issues, we had sound and this, and it's like, yeah, but I did it. I created it and it got filmed. And so same thing with Forever and a Day. It's like, all right, so people want to say things about the first season, which I never heard any of that, thank God, because I told y'all how I am on Twitter. And what I'm saying. I already told y'all I'm ignorant, so whatever. But I have no time.
Yeah,
my hands stay ready. I have hands and they stay ready.
And here's the thing. I think out of all of you, I've known Dorell the longest. I think. I think Candice is close. I think Candice are close.
Yeah.
Right. And I remember Pride series at the Emmys, and I was talking to you guys. It's like, well, that's the whole point. It's like you're at the Emmys. Like you're here.
Yeah.
Like there are a lot of shows that don't even get that far. There are a lot of shows that don't even book things. They don't work. I mean, it's like anybody completes a season of something. Whether it's 6 episodes or 10 episodes, it doesn't matter. That's an accomplishment, and we need to celebrate that more. I mean,
we do.
Things or whatever. But in fact, it's like there are a lot of folks who seriously that don't. I have friends who still talk about this idea they've had 5 years and they're still not pulling the trigger.
Money walks, bullshit talks. Since we're swearing up a storm here, rated R for this episode. Let's not be.
I didn't even know we were cussing.
However, I didn't say about
Me
something
neither,
that Dorell was saying.
It's my influence.
Wait, what?
Wait, something happened. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry, Dorell. Something to what you were saying is that, and James was saying this as well. For anyone out there who makes art and creates art and actually puts the art out there, you will have people who love it. You will have people who hate it, and you will have people in between. And there will probably be people who don't even say anything about it. But guess what? You're the one who made it. Okay? Did they make something? Okay.
And it's always people who want to talk about people's writing, people's acting, people's this, who aren't writers or actors or any of that. So sometimes
come to me when you.
It's like soap Twitter. It's pretty much like how soap Twitter is that you have people who will have something to say about anything and everything, but then when it's the flip side of it, they're quiet. So it's like you guys said, first and foremost, it's an accomplishment that we created something when there was a pandemic. Not a lot of people can say that.
The old and the bitchy fool.
Right. Too.
But also, guess what, everyone, season 2, what I loved so much about season 2 was definitely there was a change in a little bit of the dynamic of the writing. And one of the writers you brought on was Emmy Morgan. Emmy Morgan. I want to know, how did you get involved with Forever and a Day? And also, what was a scene that you wrote that you are specifically most proud of?
I got into Forever and a Day through Candice. Funny story. Well, to make a long story short, being trans, this woman, James is laughing because we just told him the story. This woman recognized me from pre-transition when I met her in 2005 or 6. She recognized me when we were in Alan Locker's what room was it? Was it the
it was the
Guiding Light? Something for Guiding Light. Which one? I don't remember. I think it was like the Jiva one. And I'm sitting here, we're talking back and forth.
Robert Newman one. Yeah.
She and I are talking back and forth through chat messenger, and all of a sudden she's like, I know you. I'm like, you don't know me? She knew me. She knew me, y'all. She knew me. Yeah. And we had talked for a while, and then she's like, can you send me a writing sample? I think I want you to be a part of the show. And I'm like, girl, get out of here. I didn't even believe her at first. And then I sent her a writing sample, and Casey and her got me on a call, and I'm like, oh my God, I sucked. I know I sucked. And they're just giving me the letdowns. And Casey's like, yeah, so we want you to work with us. I'm like, oh my God. So that's how I got in. And then getting to know James has been amazing. He's quite the character, isn't he?
Yes.
I love him though. I love him. He reminds me of my favorite uncle, and I just love this man. Even though he's not uncle material, because he's only like a couple years older than me. Don't let him fool you. Don't let him fool you, honey.
No, it is crazy. I did not know you were that old.
Thank you. It's fine. I'm 45 and fabulous.
Black don't crack.
Yeah.
Okay. Hello.
It doesn't.
I'm your younger uncle. I'm a younger uncle. We had a big family.
Yes.
I'm one of the younger ones.
Thank you. So yeah, I enjoy this show. I like Casey and Candice love the genre so much.
Mhm.
So and I really love the fact that I can come up with something, pitch it to Casey, and then we're on board, and then Candice is like, this has more holes than Swiss cheese. Let's talk about this. And the three of us come up with it, and we're like, well, shit, I'm so glad we have this balance, you know?
Yeah.
And they come to me with stuff too, and I'm like, well, what about this? So it's a good balance between all three of us. I love it. I absolutely love it.
Isn't this great when you do projects and there's no egos, right?
No,
No, not at all.
Easily say like, hey, this might not work. Like I even just did when you were saying how Candice like, this might have a few holes in it. It came from a because she wasn't saying something that could have caused conflict. This is like, hey, I love this, but let's build upon this. And as James was and Casey in the beginning, you created a community. So now we're in this community where people are building on top of each other's ideas, and you're just learning and growing from that. So Emmy, you know, I adore you, and I'm so happy that you're on board. And, you know, to have the voices that we have, I mean, this is a very diverse cast. This is a very diverse
crew.
It's a very diverse business. Like I love it. And it just feels like we're all at home here. And James, thank you. It's amazing.
I'm glad that it feels that way, because I know everything starts from the top, and I try to come in through this couple of seasons, come throughout the season, sit and listen to some of the tapings and recordings, and I don't forget Forever and a Day, that's the flagship. That was the one that started it all. But I know at all my different casts, they're all very diverse, and we're casting people in all kinds of roles, showing them that they can play whatever. It doesn't matter what they look like or what their size, what their age is. They can play anything. I also just want to state something, because I've been very vocal about this. My whole thing is diversity as normality. I think it should be just normal, not to make a wave like, I'm going to be very diverse. No, I'm just diverse. And the fact that we have a trans person on the writing staff, it's not just because we're trying to be showy and like, let's show her, let's have it. But if you look at any of my work prior to this, any of my interviews I've done over the last 8-9 years, I've always showcased everyone.
Yeah.
And I want my network to feel the same way. I want all my shows to showcase everyone, no matter who they are, and be matter of fact about it.
And James, you're so right. To us, Emmy got the job because she's a great writer. And, so Matthew, you had asked Emmy a question saying, what were her favorite things that she wrote over the season, One thing sticks out in my mind that she wrote, and it was when Alex and Leslie were having a kind of like squabble, and Leslie has this beautiful monologue where she's just describing kind of like what their life is to Alex. She's like, we have a joint bank account, we have 2 cars in both of our names, we have a son, we both have high standing careers in this town. And so Emmy solely got this job because she came to us with a great script. Candice and I both saw potential from her amazing writing. And what she has plugged into the show is really heartfelt, emotional scenes. So, the fact that we have the inclusion and we have another seat at the table for her is just icing on top of the already very layered cake. So it's fabulous.
Yeah.
I think that's amazing, because we get I'm sure we all know this. There are specific sort of, I guess, cliques within the entertainment industry. And I've noticed this a lot, where people will only work with the same people that they want to work with. And for you to bring on somebody new and to add that seat at the table and add that to the family, I think that is amazing. I think it's very humbling, and I it's fantastic. And Candice, I'm not forgetting about you. I want to know something. I have a question for you. How do you find the balance to not only write the show, but also act and star as Danielle? Because it kind of reminds me of, what was it, 1982 Texas with Pam.
Wow.
Pamela Long.
Yeah.
Pamela Long.
Pamela Long. Thank you.
Wow, you went back there.
Here's the thing. I always joke around saying, I'm just here. I'm just here. It's tough because and Casey will remember this. There was one time we stayed up to 4:00 in the morning, and I was going back and forth about the character of Danielle. Danielle was a creation that I did with fanfics. Like anybody who knew me, I love writing fanfics. I had this character in my head for the longest time. Matthew remembers. And so to me, the balance is that, okay, here I am playing a character, but I don't want her to overshadow anybody, because to me, that's ego. That's an ego situation. Finding story and creating to kind of inject her, that was easy. She's nosy. She is the audience. Okay, case in point, Jonah. That's a mess. But nobody's going to call him out on it but a Danielle. So I think the balance is
But
that.
did she?
I mean, I would love for her to have done that.
Yeah, maybe. I mean,
she did. Well, she did technically. Danielle technically did say how the Bennett family was a mess.
okay, but that's the Bennett family in a whole. And let's not go there.
Mostly a mess caused by Jonah.
He said, but you're not
Let's
gonna
be
up
clear.
in here.
The mess in the Bennett family comes from the men. Okay, look.
Yes,
True. No,
the
that is
men
definitely-
hosts of
Alex.
that show, Alex and Jonah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Danielle, you could have said Danielle. I like how I'm talking like you're.
Ooh.
Matthew, you're
It's
just like
getting
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna say this because I did see people say this on social media about Danielle and Alex. Is that Danielle could have said no. She really could have said no. However, first, would you give up a free drink? 1, 2, she probably thought she was going to get some inside scoop.
Well, she got some
did.
inside scoop. All right.
I think he got the inside scoop.
Right, he did. That's right.
Okay, look, we were talking about salads earlier. Danielle had her salad.
Oh my Lanta.
So hey, game time. Here's
Oh my
my
Lanta.
games.
Matthew,
Before we start a game, I have to say, I am so impressed with Candice's interpretation of Danielle.
Right.
I thought,
right?
as a fan for the first season, I'm like, ooh, I can't stand this Danielle. She is such a busybody. She is so annoying.
Thank you.
And then season 2, I'm like, oh, wait, hold on, Antoine, you wait a damn minute. And then season 2, I'm like, oh shit, I feel Alex did her dirty.
Thank you.
I'm like, I don't know. Danielle is becoming one of my favorites. I don't know. I like the emotion.
So when
Yeah.
Candice first came to me with the idea of introducing this character, first it worked naturally for the plot because a lot of our storylines are driven by media, politics, what's happening in the world today. They're just interpreted into Augustus time. And so she said, look, I know we're both big fans of the character of Lucy Coe. So imagine if we implanted a Lucy Coe type into the town of Augustus. And I was like, you know what? That's brilliant. Like, what do you have there? And Candice came in with like, look, this is how she can blow it up. And the character of Danielle has truly become one of our favorites in the writer's room. I mean, she's there for a joke. She's there for emotions. She's there to speak with somebody unexpectedly, sass. So, I mean, she can do it all.
Sass on, thanks, Gunner.
Yes.
Yeah.
There really is no limit to this character.
Antoine.
And
I love her
I
rivalry
want to
with
say
Antoine.
in the spin-off books, I've been having fun with Danielle in there too.
Aww.
I can place Danielle anywhere. And there's a book out right now. I'm talking about now. But I just think fun throwing her in there. Her character can do anything. Her character can do anything. So we love to throw her.
Candice
Danielle,
is like the Price is Right showcase.
I know, I'm doing that. Yeah, make sure, real plug here, JLJ Media's Forever and a Day book series now available on Amazon.com.
The new book is out. The new book is out. Magnified.
Yes. Get your collection today.
Okay.
Well, maybe somebody can win this book as a prize for this game. So
let's do it. Yeah.
Not her books.
We're gonna say like, hey, maybe because we don't know yet. Is Forever and a Day renewed for season 3? Hopefully we find out, but we don't know. But we're gonna say if there is a possible season 3, could they be together? Dorell and I are going to give couple pairings, and if we had some graphics, we put their their headshots up. We'll put some ideas that we have of our own, and we will go from Casey, Candice, James, Emmy. Just say yes or no. And I know y'all, and I know you're going to be like, but. Okay, so after that, after we've all gone through the yes and the no's, and Candice will probably say, but.
Yeah.
We will discuss it. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Dorell, would you like to start us off with a possible couple pairing? Could they be together?
Well, here's what's going to be crazy. Everyone's going to probably think I'm crazy when I say this, but I will start. Caitlin and Sky. I know. I know they had a history, but I'm just asking.
Well, I think, with Caitlin and Sky, it's so interesting because...
Yes or no? Yes or no?
You're not following the rules.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
If I'm thinking as the character...
Yes or no or maybe?
If I'm thinking as the character of Caitlin, no.
No, okay. Candice.
Maybe.
Maybe. James.
Yes.
Yes. Emmy.
Possibly, maybe.
Maybe. There you go.
I think that we had the writers who knew something was coming up, and they were like, "How can we answer this without?"
See, I take stuff way too literal as well. I'm there wanting to examine. I'm like doing the Agnes Nixon.
You should have started off with Candice. We're just playing. I'm just kidding.
Are you ready for my couple? Could they be together?
Okay.
I want to know, can Lenore and Gregory get together?
Ooh.
Casey.
Yes.
Yes. Candice.
I don't know.
Okay, see, now who's pulling a Casey?
Yeah, you are pulling a Casey, girl.
No, I'm serious. I'm actually thinking about that too. I'm like,
we're gonna say maybe. We're gonna say maybe for you. James, what's your answer?
No.
No. Emmy, what's your answer?
I'm gonna say it in Spanish. No.
Oh my lord, that's like that episode.
Oh my Valanta.
That's like that episode of 227 where Sandra was dating the Latin gym instructor, and she said "muchas gracias," and then said, "Oh, I'm happy."
Me. All right, so we're gonna say because I woke up today and chose violence. We're gonna say Gregory, Dominique, Casey.
No.
Candice.
Yes.
That's the answer I'm looking for. James.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Lord, look, I can see the promo now. He started by stealing her money, but now he's stolen her heart.
No,
there you go. I'm done.
I can see now. You said we only got 10 seconds. I can see the beginning beat of Whips and Chain, but Rihanna just playing like I want to, and then just yeah.
Oh my God. I think that would be a really good pairing.
I like it.
Maybe they are really in love with the suit.
I see handcuffs.
I just see Beth Bryant and Lauren B. Martin do their thing together.
Yeah, they have good chemistry as well.
I'm all in.
Well, I have another possible. Could they be together? JJ and Alex.
Oh Lord.
Because I feel like Alex could swing a little both ways if he really wants something, if you know what I mean.
Casey, you know what I'm thinking.
Casey?
So does Candice.
Yes, no, or maybe?
No.
No. Candice?
Candice.
Candice.
We've lost Candice. Look, Candice is
I'm gonna buzzer on you.
Should I say it?
Can I do like press pass? Can I pass and
Yeah.
then come back?
It's like
Okay.
Family Feud.
James.
No.
Emmy.
Can I say what I want to say, please?
Say your answer and say what you want to say.
No, Casey, do you want me to say it?
Go for it.
Alex sure loves his chocolate.
Oh,
I swear. Leslie, Danielle, you like some chocolate? I'm going to say, you know what? JJ, I'm going to say maybe. Hey.
Tony Moore says yes. Tony Moore in the chat room says yes.
Oh my gosh.
Says yes.
That would add too much. That would add too much drama to Danielle's life. But you know what?
Exactly.
I love messiness on soap. So
Alex is
go for it. Go for it.
I'm not sure what cooking show I would have to watch to write that love scene. So.
Dorell, who's the next possible pairing that you could think of or that you want to see?
Oh boy.
What do y'all think about Antoine and Jonah?
I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Trash.com. I'm all for it.
Your turn, Candice. Casey.
I
know. Casey?
You know
maybe.
What? Maybe. Yep.
Maybe.
So red.
Candice, it was definitely
Yes.
What is your answer?
It would unbutton literally Jonah's character. So yes.
Take off the clothes.
I love that. Emmy, what do you have?
Yes, no, or maybe. Jonah and Antoine. What would their splice name be? Danwan?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say no.
What?
No.
Antoine.
I would love that. I would love to play that story because I know that Dorell and I would just kill it and it would be so much fun. All right, here's the last one. And I think this is a very popular coupling that everybody's probably talked about since the very first episode. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, Elaine and Isaac.
Well, Elizabeth is in the chat room right now. Elizabeth's in the chat room.
Hi,
Liz. We love her.
Is she saying Elaine and Isaac?
Yeah, she's in the chat room, just came in. I say, I'm gonna answer for everybody. I was for that for the first reading when we had originally Brandon Larkins and her. We all sat there and went, wait a minute, what's going on here? And then her and Tony, I'm like, yes. And we just did an episode of the crossover special with all the mothers coming out Mother's Day. And Elaine comes on, she plays her character. And we mentioned that in the dialogue about her and Isaac. It's a whole part of the storyline.
I love it.
Casey,
I'm all in.
is it a yes, no, or maybe?
A maybe.
Candice.
Yes.
You thought she had froze. You said hello.
Yeah. I was like, let me think about that.
Yes, no, or maybe for Elaine and Isaac. Yes? I think he's a yes, right?
Yeah. He said yes.
Okay. Emmy. Yes, no.
I'm gonna say maybe. I'm gonna say maybe.
There we go.
Maybe.
Well, hopefully we get to find out if that comes true. We don't know yet, but that's how we thank you for playing this. The last game of the season 2 show. They be together.
Yeah. Elizabeth says yes.
Okay, Liz, how you doing?
Long time. Oh yeah, of course. Well, really, my own brother. Okay.
Liz is down for anything.
I'm
She
with
really is.
We don't know yet.
So I have a question actually for Candice, Casey, and Emmy. So, we talked earlier about things that, we wish were different and what have you. What is one storyline that you wish you would have maybe done differently? Like, is there a storyline that you're like, that didn't really go the way I wanted it to go? And then you obviously change course with it. Like, is that something that sticks out in your mind? Casey, I'll go with you first.
Gosh, that's a hard one. Especially, what's interesting is for some reason one night Candice and I were on the phone and I was like looking back at all of our old season 1 scripts. I don't know why. But I just gosh, a storyline to do differently. I think looking back, I would maybe, in my opinion, maybe introduced Gregory a little sooner. just to get more of the tension between he and Isaac into those scripts. But you know what's interesting about season 1, I'll say this very quickly, from a format standpoint, season 1 was very daytime, like a very drawn out, very, you know, seemed like it could air on NBC in the afternoon or something like that. Season 2 was a little more edgier and stuff. We got a lot more into each episode. We packed a lot more in. But overall, looking back at that season 1, I would have probably introduced Gregory a little bit earlier.
Okay.
Candice.
I love that.
I agree with that, to introduce Gregory a little sooner. Probably, I guess, establish JJ and Antoine a little sooner too.
Yeah.
Because I just think that Dorell, you and Tony y'all have Kim, and you know, we all, when we're in scenes together, we just vibe off of each other. So I wish for the introduction of JJ and Antoine a little sooner. Gregory. Shallow note, that Danielle and Alex kind of would have happened a little sooner, but with repercussion, like apprenticeship or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Lord can't hold you.
I love it. Emmy, what are your thoughts?
Coming in as a new writer to the show, I really loved everything they did in season 1. And I know I forgot to answer it, but when Matthew asked me what scene did I love to write, it was the scene with Leslie finding the box. I don't know why, but that it was so like specific. She spills something, she gets the napkin, I really love that scene. So I think maybe my answer for this question, maybe more oh gosh, I would have to say some sort of scene where Alex and Colin have that guy to guy talk, like really we see and hear the pain from both of them. You know, I mean, Alex stole his damn woman. I want to know what their friendship was like before, what gave Alex the brass tacks to do this, and how both of them feel right now. I think that would have been a good scene, but you never know. It could be coming up soon. We don't know. We don't know anything. We don't know anything.
Oh gosh.
There is
we don't know anything.
I know something, that this season 2 finale was heart palpitating, pulsating, and just, oh my God, so good. I'm talking like Mama Lou already. Let's get into it.
I thought you were talking
about out for a little bit, but I want to come on for the ending scene. I want to talk about how it made me very excited.
Look, did y'all see that? That's how they do it on the soaps, like fade out.
Yeah, he was like, and up on commercial number 2.
And I was into it too. I said, where'd he go? Okay.
I thought he was gonna, talk about, JLJ Media books now available on Amazon.com. Get your Forever and a Day book today.
Dorell, do you have your recaps up and ready?
I got them ready for you.
All right, let's do it. So Melanie wants to focus on her. Stephen is going to tell Colin everything, which results in a slap. She wants Stephen to realize that Colin is better off, but Stephen is worried that it might be too late if and when her ALS sets in.
Her Alzheimer's,
oh my gosh. See, that's my notes. You're going to miss my notes, I'm telling you.
Lord, she ain't that. Oh, Lord, ALS.
Alzheimer's. I meant Alzheimer's. You know what I meant.
He did, yes.
No, I know it.
This is why I'm not a writer.
I love it. So in this particular storyline, for me, I really first of all, I'm sad because I haven't been in a scene, I feel like, with Beth, who plays Melanie, in forever. So I'm ready for that, hopefully, if we get a season 3 to happen. But I have to say, I see her strength coming out. And I can definitely see a shift in the writing that you guys have done with Melanie, because I kind of feel like in the beginning, Melanie was just kind of like, oh, I got this secret, I'm this and that. But I do feel a different energy from her now. And I have to say, I like it. I really do. Do you guys feel that you like strengthened her character just a bit when you've been writing this?
I think so. She got the opportunity to have this fabulous monologue in that episode, which Beth absolutely killed. She was like, look, one day I know I will not remember you or Colin, but he will. She's essentially telling him, he'll remember the life he's building right now. He has a child, he has a fiance, he has, and I love how Beth put this in the writing. When she said he has a sister, he has a mother, he has a father. Don't take that away from him. So I think that shows Melanie's growth personally, because I think we can all kind of construe that she came to town wanting to blow up the secret as well.
Yeah.
But, when she was diagnosed with the Alzheimer's and leading into Stephen's entrance, she was really like, well, why would I blow it up when I've worked so hard to fix everything with everybody? So I think we definitely have a really stronger character than we did in season 1.
And if we do get a season 3, I think that because this has been one of the biggest plots since season 1. How could it be exposed in such a huge way? And Stephen's basically saying to her, it might be too late. That's some deep stuff right there.
Yeah, it's like, do you want to be selfish? Do you want to be selfish and take away somebody's life to fulfill your own life? And that's the thing, is that when Melanie came back, she wanted to right a lot of wrongs, but she's also was kind of being selfish in the sense of, okay, I don't want to do this, I don't want to do that. But then it's like the switch came on. It's like, okay, here comes Aaron, who's like, we gotta talk. We gotta tell the truth. Da 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 da. And then it's like you go back and forth. It's like, okay, do I want to tell the truth? Because I don't know if I'm going to have that chance, that opportunity. Or do I just keep it to myself and let this young man continue to live his life the way that he knows? So yeah, you do have that conflict. You do have Melanie going back and forth, because now you got Aaron, he's trying to fix some things too.
Yeah.
You mean Stephen?
Stephen, why I say Aaron? Hi, Aaron.
That's his name.
I know you.
I did a Matthew.
Yeah.
Well, Sky wants to chat with Lakin and Caitlin by offering her apologies for everything. They aren't buying it by hurling insults, and they kick her out. Miranda's on top of her possible myeloma relapse, and a kiss from Andrew takes her mind off of her troubles. Lakin and Caitlin show off their relationship at the Grand Phoenix, at Gregory's hotel opening, and as does Miranda and Andrew.
Yeah.
It's a total 180 moment from last season when they were exposed. So it's kind of cool.
Exactly. Because go ahead, Dora.
No. I was gonna say one thing I want to compliment all of you on, and I meant to say it earlier. You guys don't write gay stories. You write just real stories. You just write life. So sometimes when I'm listening or when I've been reading scripts and stuff in the past, it's like I don't even think of it as we have a gay moment and this is or we're trying to do. It's just like, oh, these are just people who have lives, and I feel like anybody, no matter their sexuality, no matter their gender, no matter who they're dating, you can draw inspiration off of all of these couples, and you can say, oh shit, I can see myself in that, and I think that's the one thing you want people to be able to do, no matter their sexuality, is say like, oh yeah, them two girls, like I had a situation like that before with, a guy I dated, or, it's crazy. So I want to compliment you guys on that.
Thank you.
Thank you, because we certainly take that to heart. It is very important for us not to just tell stories that fit into somebody's ideal way of telling stories. We're telling a story about a town and about, all the people in that town.
Yeah. It's everyday life. It's everyday life, everyday living. Why? we all watch soaps, so we all can say this. I feel as though what we're doing on Forever and a Day should be what these soaps are doing today, showcasing the reality, and of course, soap reality on their shows. There shouldn't be just one gay couple, one gay character, one gay, on the special episode of General Hospital. Today, we're going to talk about it's 2021. We have evolved, and that's like I've talked to people on social media who says you guys have mixed couples. You have Black Love. You have Juliet. You have you talk about politics without going overboard with that.
Right.
That's the kind of soap that's the kind of programming I want to see. I mean, we've grown as a soap community. We have definitely grown, but sadly, we've also taken some steps back.
Right.
And that's what with Forever and a Day. And I wanted to say this early too is we all want to make the corrections with soap. Yeah. We're not trying to preach. We're not trying to preach to it's like dear soap Jesus, please, of all things. But we do want to see representation. We want to see diversity. We want to see a good story without being with masks. I ain't gonna say no names, but I just enjoy it. But
it's so important what Candice is saying, because in soap operas, there's plenty of representation of gay writers. Ron Calabardi at Days being the head writer, that's amazing. But the representation on screen has always been terrible. And I'm just gonna say it. When Chuck Pratt at All My Children allegedly pitched the story where Bianca was gonna sleep with a man, that's disgusting. When on One Life to Live, they had the gay guy who was so far in the closet that he wanted to murder people to keep his secret. All My Children did that terrible Zarf and Zoe storyline. Young and Restless barely shows they're lesbians anymore. I think Kate Fairbanks has had 5 episodes in the past 6 months. I mean, we are here to show people that representation matters, because again, it is 2021. It's time for networks to stop being scared, because the pulse of the nation is clearly, and I say this as a soap fan, it's moving away from that genre. They're experiencing all-time collapsible lows because they're just not getting with the times. The people who are watching these shows now are demographics that they really don't care to pay attention to anymore. It's people who have watched the shows and grown up on them. They're not attracting any newer viewer because they're not willing to tell the stories to attract those people. So on our show, sure, we always get to spin the fun soap trope for a new audience, but it's highly important that in the middle of all of that soapy fun, we also show representation that, like Candice says, doesn't beat you over the head. It's just there because it's real life.
Right. And
I think that these are topics that we could actually talk about on other JLJ media shows as well. Whenever they cover General Hospital, whenever they cover Beautiful, whenever they cover The Young and the Restless and Days of Our Lives. And also, I know, Candice, you host a little soap party yourself. So these are things that we need to talk about. But there's more to talk about too. Dorell.
Well, I'm
giving you the next.
I know.
I was going to do it.
Because I listen.
No, I want you to do it. I want to hear your Mama Lou impression.
I want to hear Dorell. You do Mama Lou. I really
Mama Lou impression.
I do too.
Oh God. Okay. Emmy goes to Colin, but Mama Lou is feeling guilty over her past secret. Well, I got. But
that's amazing.
Listen, that Mama Lou is one of my favorite characters. And if I don't get that, right. Listen, I literally have to get to her. Somehow, I think she is fantastic, and the words come out of her mouth are like butter. She's also the type of actress, that you can really feel. I always go back to the scene when she was with Colin in the hospital, and Emmy was in there, and they were having a discussion, and it just you know, and even in this past episode, she was just like, you know, I'm so sorry, you're not gonna like me, when she was talking to herself. I just think that this character is going to be very interesting, and that's why I'm praying for season 3, because I want to continue learning more about her.
What is this big secret? What can you tease? Because if it does happen for season 3, I want to know, what is Mama Lou hiding? And by the way, Dorell, I thought your impression was fantastical.
Thank you, baby.
I can't.
I so want to do a Mama Lou impersonation, but I'm not gonna do it.
Mama Lou.
Love Mama Lou.
I love
so
her.
bougie. I love it.
She is.
Classic. She's a classic soap character.
Yes.
That
I can't believe
top.
she lives on the farm. Like, she's so bougie.
She's Angelica Devereaux.
Love her.
She's
Gloria
Alex from Guiding
Spencer.
Light too. She gives me a little bit of.
She's Alexandra. She's
you rich bitch. Not
she's Vanessa from All My Children.
She's Iris.
Yeah, Iris. She's just that fun character that we all are like, at first we're all like, what in the hell is this? But then we were like, we want to see more of her.
Yeah.
So I mean, you know, it's fabulous. And Claire Stadtmiller is just what a lady, what an amazing professional to work with. And in terms of this secret, I can't wait to see where it goes either. Gosh, I wish the writers were on this episode today.
Right?
But wait, my question, does Claire know how much the after show loves Mama Lou? Does she know this?
I don't think she knows.
I don't think she knows.
I always tell her how the fans, you know, and that's why you guys, hey, if you are watching this, still submit questions to these actors, to us, and we're going to be doing something this coming week. You know, like, you know, answering the questions.
We'll talk about it. But for now, hey, Dorell, I want to know what's going on with Gregory.
Oh, poor Gregory. He's still very upset about Avery's death. Leslie decides to keep her partnership with her uncle's Grand Hotel, which I really love that scene, by the way. Lenore caters the event, and reporter James Lott covers the event. Leslie crashes Alex, Emma, and Colin's awkward reunion. Leslie slaps Alex for all of his lives. I love Kalia. Honestly, this girl, like, you know, I've always known that she was like talented from listening in season 1, but even seeing her growth into not just as an actress, but as a character, I'm like, yes, Leslie. And I mean, we'll talk about it at the end, you know, when we get to the end, what happens. But I really like her strength. I'm going to say that. And I like how she's not scared. I'll say that. I love that. So, and go ahead.
Now I agree with you that Kalia is, I always say she is like this little box of surprises, because you don't know what's going to come out of her. And definitely, you know, season 1, you know, a lot of people was like about Leslie, but in season 2, you really did see her grow up. You saw her making some choices, making some decisions, making, you know, especially, you know, her father, you know, taking on with Gregory, you know, and like you said, when we talk about, you know, at the end, but there was a lot going on with Leslie, and just Kalia just brought her A game. And look, she is just a talented young lady with a big, bright future.
I need to say this.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Emmy.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, but Candice's point earlier that we create stories, we're creating stories. I have to say that we all can agree when Leslie said, I am a Black woman, I was like, wait, is she Black? Wait a minute.
Season 1.
Is she Black? Hold on. Let me look at that cast list for a minute. By episode 8, season 1, you don't think about colors. And when she said it, all of a sudden I'm like, well, shit, that means she's in a interracial relationship. Wait, hold on. That is the power of this show. That you actually didn't even think about color until Leslie said something.
Yeah.
And I'm still shocked by that episode. I'm still shocked.
Yeah.
Definitely, in my opinion, turned down the brattiness, because in listening to Candice, I have strong opinions about Leslie, but
same.
I definitely learned. I feel as if her character arc, there wasn't an interesting scene whenever Colin said to Emma, oh, she's more mad at Alex than she is at you. But I'm thinking, she should be mad at Emma because Emma is just as devious. She was plotting against Leslie as well.
True.
Yeah, she was.
But remember, Alex
should have given her a little slap too, because this episode should have been called Forever in a Slap.
But you also got to remember, Alex has lied about his relation with Emma by saying, "Oh, we were friends in college. We don't know each other." Da 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 da. So to me, if I'm in a relationship with somebody, especially if it's my husband, okay, I feel as though my husband owes me the truth before anybody. And he is the first person I'm going to kick, I'm going to slap, I'm going to push out of the
wall. Oh, damn.
You know, like because basically she's asked a few times, like, okay, is there anything that you need to tell me? Why am I finding out via other? Why couldn't you be man enough when I've asked you one time? You lied to me one time. 2 times, you lied. 3 times, I have to find out and feel like an idiot. Because it's like, wait a minute. Yeah, I'm mad at her. I'm going to be mad at her.
Yeah.
But right now, I'm mad at you because you've lied constantly in my face about your relationship with this young lady. So yeah, for Leslie to kind of own that and slap him, yeah.
And so, plus, she is mad at Emma. You know, she
is.
But she has to. This isn't just a marriage between Alex and Leslie. There's a child, you know, they have a son. So she has to hold Alex's feet to the fire or else nobody else will. And so she has to think about her child in that moment and the household she wants to build. And, you know, Matt, you had brought up a great bit of information about how a lot of fans felt with Leslie, that she was too bratty or to this or to that. And I from a writer standpoint, and I guess this is where they needed our writing perspectives, is I completely disagree with that. Leslie, you know, everything was blamed on her because yes, she was the one who left Colin at the altar. That is a terrible thing to do.
On Wednesday afternoon.
She is the first one to admit that she did that. And, you know, she had that great monologue again, another great monologue where she explained how Alex managed to kind of recapture the magic they had. And, you know, she even says to Alex, like, what if I wouldn't have left him at that altar? You know, what would be different? And, you know, now, you know, with the special elevator episode, you know, we find out that a whole year has passed. You know, a whole year of events has happened since that day of their wedding. And in that year, these are people who have also developed their own sins, their own things to regret. And so I feel like Leslie, while, you know, many people say she's bratty, I completely disagree because I think that she is a woman who had a lot to figure out with a child in the middle.
Agree.
And now she thinks she makes the right decision, but then she didn't. And
she
you
has
know,
to
that
live with
really
that.
hurts. Because don't we all make choices in our lives and then we end up wondering someday, you know, what would have happened if I made the other choice? So it's really a powerful kind of reclaiming her time type of moment, in my opinion.
To quote Tatiana from RuPaul's Drag Race, choices. But I will say that I think that Leslie from season 1, when she was getting involved with Isaac's relationship with Stephanie, was and she was, in my opinion, the brattiest. And in season 2, it was definitely, her arc kind of came about, and I can definitely see it, especially towards these last couple of episodes, with her manipulated relationship with Alex.
Before we move on, I just want to say this one thing. This show, if that happened on another show, Leslie would have came at Emma so hard and given Alex such a pass. And we on this show want to do things different. So Alex got the brunt. Now, will Emma ever?
Like, you know, I look at that's such a great point, and I'll say this very quickly so we can move on.
Yeah.
But you look at The Young and the Restless. So, you know, one of my favorite triangles of all time was Ashley, Nikki, Victor. But that was always more about Ashley and Nikki hating each other than it was about them looking at Victor and saying, okay, so, you know, his first wife, did we all forget that he put her lover in a cage of rats just at the time, just 5 years ago? So, you know, they never... And you even look at Bold and Beautiful, the past 12 years of Steffi, Liam Hope. Nobody's ever looked
at Taylor Ridge and
Taylor Ridge Brooke.
Right.
We love these triangles. Well, not Steffi, Liam Hope. We love these triangles, but you know, it's always got to be the women fighting. Yes. It can never be about the man. And I think a lot of complaints come for Leslie because she is the daytime character exception to the rule. For once, we see a woman looking at the man's sins, and people aren't really used to that. You know, the only one to ever really do that was Erica Kane, and Erica Kane ain't on the TV no more. Nope. So we have to look at it from a realistic. Hold on. Right. So we have to look at it from a 2021 perspective. We have to look at it with the Me Too movement. We have to look at it with the Time's Up movement, with the women's movement. And we have to create a three-dimensional dynamic character like Agnes Nixon did with Erica Kane, like Bill Bell originally did with Jill Foster. We have to call out the man's sins. That is so important.
I love that. That's my favorite. So, Matthew, what's going on with our favorite trash reporter, Danielle? And
I was just going to say, we have to talk about how Danielle is hopeful for trash at the party. Antoine offers his apologies to JJ for how he treated his son. JJ shuts him down. JJ notices Danielle's feelings for Alex. JJ figures out what happened. Antoine puts his hatred for Danielle to the side to keep his relationship with JJ, and it was sealed with a kiss.
Can we all just talk about Danielle's line where she says, I hope somebody falls down drunk at the party. Trash.com needs a bright headline. She was like, we just need some fun. In this
we just need something because it's so gloomy right now. Like, you know, but yeah, I agree.
Trash.com must not be doing so well. But listen, I have to say
the shade.
I spoke about this a couple of times, but I really did, as much as Antoine might not have, I did like to see the siblings coming together. I like for JJ to be like, listen, you're going to stop talking about my sister now. We're not going to do this. Like, we're not going to go back and forth. And I feel like that was a really strong moment for me to play as Antoine to say, what is the greater good? This trash.com or this man? And it was just like, all right, so I'll do this. And I honestly think, and I hope that if we get a season 3, I think that Antoine and Danielle have more in common than they're willing to admit, which is why they have such a strong dislike for each other. It's like magnifier trash.com. It's kind of the two sides of the same coin. It's like Danielle and Antoine.
The story with them, I think too.
Right. I agree.
Yeah, because go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, but even if you look at this story, it's not about gay, it's not about Black, it's just about two rivals in business don't like each other and they wind up in each other's personal lives. That's amazing. That is amazing.
I mean, I love it. Who hasn't been in a situation where your friend or your sibling dates someone that you don't like? And you kind of give them an ultimatum and say, hey, it's me or them.
And sometimes you do have to swallow your pride too. Because especially if you're in a relationship and, you know, and of course they have a sibling that gets on your last damn nerves. It's like, okay, like you guys said, what do? Do you break up with them because of the sibling, or do you swallow your pride and be like, okay, I'll be nice for you know, towards them, but like behind closed doors, and when you're by yourself, you're like, I can't stand that. Oh, I can't stand. Like, like, oh, family group picture. Okay. You have to, but I mean, there's people. I actually know people who will do that. It's like you don't want to throw away a good relationship just because. And if the siblings are, like JJ and Danielle, look, JJ is season 1 was all up on Danielle, like in her business, like you do this, and now it's like, okay, they're after we found out what happened between them, you understand that they protect each other.
Mm-hmm.
So it's sort of like Danielle. Yeah, she's trashy. She's Danielle. As Matthew played that song, I got that song stuck in my head too. But
it's a good song.
It is a good song for a spinoff, man. Maybe if we get a season 3, maybe there's a
Fabulous
spinoff.
song.
But I just feel as though with, like you said, Rob, to kind of is that I think Anton and Danielle, they have so much, but at the same time they got nothing but love, especially for JJ. When it comes down to JJ, it's like, okay, so But.
And I have a feeling that if season 3 comes, they'll get to connect on that. I think that they might get to connect on that. Hopefully, we'll see.
Hopefully.
But what I'm more even excited about, because you left us on a huge cliffhanger. So Stephanie freaks out after being abducted by Donovan. I cannot. I love Jonah and Isaac run into each other yet again, but find out that Stephanie isn't at her place. Donovan informs Stephanie that this is her karma from Miranda. Stephanie knocks him out to exit on her own. I love seeing her take the power back herself. She didn't need to be a damsel in distress and be rescued. But I also really like Jonah and Isaac, 2 rivals, kind of coming together weirdly for a common goal. It was almost like,
comical, right?
Well, it was, for me, I was like, are they friends? And I was like, wait, no. But it was really interesting. And this is something that you see happen in soaps all the time. Actually, on this past week's General Hospital, Ava and Carly and Laura all came together and said, listen, the enemy of my enemy is like, let's get this. Like, let's bond together and do this. And sometimes you like to see characters come together to do that. When there's there's always going to be internal conflict, but when there's a big bad, everybody's like, all right, all our small shit aside, let's handle this. And so I was really happy to see that moment with them.
I just love how, it really went to illustrate how complicated Stephanie's life is, because I love that Jonah and Isaac both asked one another in different portions of that conversation, are you back with Stephanie? No, I'm not. Are you? So, I mean, there's really so much to unpack with that Stephanie character, as literally nobody in this town knows that she's nowhere to be found. So, she's been kidnapped. She's out in the middle of nowhere. And meanwhile, they're all just talking about, who's porking her. So, I mean,
it's not game.
I would have loved to have seen maybe whenever Isaac asked the question, I would have loved to have seen Jonah say to him, well, maybe you could read about it on trash.com.
I also love that.
That's what I'm saying.
This is just one of those other things, and we didn't realize it. It's another surprise pairing. These 2 men are trying to come together. They hate each other. They're trying to come together for a common goal. That's a surprise pairing not most soaps would do.
Right.
So that's pretty cool.
I loved it.
I'm sorry. I know Donovan is evil and stuff, but good Lord, he's sexy. Oh my God. He's like the Roger Thorpe. He's like sexy. He's like the kind of dangerous where if you have sex with him, he's going to steal your money while you're sleeping, but you still do it.
You're going to do it. Yo, you and I are both glutton for punishment, because I'm like, I mean, he can get it, but like,
he might steal my car and run up my credit, but I don't know.
Wow.
Might be worth it.
But I am worried about Stephanie, because the fact is that, again, this has been a story, continuation as well, where she's going back and forth. Basically, she's on her own.
Yeah,
she's literally on her own. She tried the police. That didn't work, and sadly, in the reality that we live in, that's going on right now, where people have to wait for restraining orders, but at the same time, they feel as though, like, look, time is ticking. I gotta do what I gotta do. Donovan is like, he's like, you know what? Put this check mark right here.
Yep.
Okay. Miranda, you just gave me a pass. Okay, I'm still gonna do it. I'm worried about if we do, season 3, we don't know. My main thing is I want to know about Stephanie's mental health.
Yeah.
Because to me, that you've been kidnapped by a guy who had your underwear and stuff.
And stuff.
And it was all originally a plan of the man she was sleeping with, his ex-wife. So I mean,
it was his wife at first.
Even though she called it off in the end, even though Miranda had the bright idea to call it off in the end, she really didn't know how psychotic Donovan was. And so now, Miranda was kind of like the root cause of the problem. And Candice, you brought up, Detective Lockhart, who I loved when Stephanie said he was like dumber than a box of rocks or something like that.
She did.
She has tried to get help. She has tried to let somebody know what's going on, and nobody's really listening. But then when she takes matters into her own hands, Isaac is like, oh, you're going off the rails. And she's like, well, you need to with somebody like Donovan. So I find the whole thing fascinating.
Abducted her. No, Donovan's abducted her. He did something. So,
and
also,
there you go.
We've all watched horror movies before.
Yeah.
You shoot to kill. Because if he's getting back up, he's going to be in the backseat of that car with her.
You got to go. Run.
And I feel like two things need to be addressed. One, I think Donovan was so shocked she fought back. He was like, wait, my privilege didn't keep her here. I didn't just scare her. And you also have to think about this. And I know a lot of people miss this. The whole reason that special episode with Stephanie was told was because it was to tell you guys, this hooker ain't no victim. Y'all need to be on notice. She's been through shit and she ain't taking it no more. So that's why she fought back to Donovan. Donovan wasn't just the man that stalked her. He was also her father. Let's go,
Yeah.
Let's go. She was ready. She was ready.
Yeah. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we get to find out more. But also special agents figure out that Gunnar rigged the mayoral election. Gunnar is ecstatic to see Elaine is back home, but their reunion is short-lived when Gunnar is arrested. Dun, dun.
You know what that reminded me of? Casey, Candice, and Emmy. I want to tell y'all. So that actually reminded me when he got arrested. When you remember the One Life to Live series finale on ABC?
Yes.
Todd.
Yeah. And John them came in and he's like, "You're under arrest," and she was in for the murder of Victor Lord, and they were like, "But I was like again," and that to me felt that same energy. I was just like, "Damn, Isaac, you almost made it, sis." And then here we go.
You almost
made it. Like so close.
But also too, it's like Gunnar's thought he's gotten away with everything, and his wife is good, and his wife is home, and all of a sudden this hot British guy comes in and arrests you.
And
he was very hot.
Yeah,
I loved it.
But you have so many layers here because Elaine is trying to comprehend this. She didn't know about this, and she's like, "Who are you, special agent for the FBI? Are you Mariska Hargitay and Chris Maloney? Like, who are you?"
Go ahead.
And then meanwhile, Gunnar's like, "Calm down. I need you to go call Andrew," who was earlier in the season revealed to be his helper and
co-conspirator.
This is something that we've hung on to. For a long time now. This goes all the way back to like our season 1 finale. And now you've just had to wait all this time. We've held on to it, but we for sure give our fans those climaxes if they just hang on long enough with us. And they
I'm worried about what could happen to Elaine, because if she's doing so much better, over the edge again. And something going back to season 1, and also that was brought back in season 2 with the chemistry between Isaac and Jonah. I would definitely, if we're going to continue this rivalry, if we do get a season 3, I don't know yet, but I would love to see Jonah literally say to Isaac, "You're going to print this about your best friend, right? Because you have to. You can't do this." You know what I mean?
I feel as though trash.com is on the case.
Oh, that too. That's even better. Go to trash.com. But I just feel like he wants to push it in Isaac's face. Yeah,
that's what happens, Guna, when you kick somebody out the hospital.
Oh my
exactly.
God. Well, Dominique, that we all have come to know and love, she plots her ultimate revenge against Gregory. She takes over the festivities by exposing Gregory's thievery. Dominique shows her gun and demands her money, or puts all the guests' lives in danger. Lenore presses the silent alarm, trying to get help, as Leslie is held at gunpoint by Dominique. The residents try to save Leslie, but bang, 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 cliffhanger ending.
So hold on, I have to say something. So when I read this episode, I'm tight, because when I read this episode, what did I do? I wrote Casey and Candice in all caps, and I said, "What the fuck? What?"
Yeah, he did.
I've been waiting to say this because I'd be trying to not give spoilers, but I was in shock. And then I was like, "Y'all, am I dying?" They said, "We don't know." I said, "What?" So I have been freaking out since this, and I played this for my roommates in the apartment. We were playing it over our loudspeaker, and they were like, "That was so good." They said, "You know who died?" I was like, "No, I don't. I really don't." I said, "But I hope that we get a chance to come back and find out." That, baby, y'all did what all my children tried to do. So congratulations. Y'all did what they tried to do.
Around to take us off the air. So
you know what?
Well, okay, so I'm back. I did a costume.
Oh, hey.
All right. Everybody mute yourself because James is going to give us his take on this episode. I can't wait. I'm muting myself for this.
Okay. I watched it last. I watched it.
Listen,
I feel like I watched it. I mean, it was very
yeah.
No, in all seriousness, it's very visual. It was very visual. I could picture.
Agreed.
So kudos to the writing. I could picture the scene. And I got to tell you, this was the ending I've been waiting for. Last season, this is Shady Sunday. I was a little shady. I was a little underwhelmed at the season finale. But this season, I told them that this last year. They said, wait till next season. Casey said it to me. He goes, wait till next season. And they told me why they didn't do the ending that I was hoping they would do last season. They told me, give me a whole explanation. Well, they delivered. You guys delivered. I was cheering. I was gagging. I loved it. Lauren B. Martin commanded that scene. I mean, again, it's just audio, bitches, not video. It's just audio. Right. She commanded. I was picturing her in some kind of outfit. She was, again, back to the writing. It was funny in parts. Oh, hey, Leslie girl, love your shoes. I love that. That's in there as you're about to shoot people. I'm just like, it was all. And then you have the amazing Ben Bryant, the amazing Tony Hanna. I mean, these people who just like, amazing. I mean, and as you're setting the stage and saying, and here are Antoine so over here, and here is so I'm literally, my eyes were visualizing a room where everybody's standing at, and this is happening. And I said after I texted them, we have a little group message, and I was like, yes, this is exactly what I want to know. This is a cliffhanger I like. This is very JLJ media. I always do cliffhangers in my shows. I love cliffhangers, first of all, but it all made sense.
Me too.
I do. I love cliffhangers, but it made sense though to the story, and it makes folks want to come back. Even the actors, everybody wants to know what the fuck's gonna happen next. Like, I want to know. I want to know. I mean, does Dominique the one just get shot 3 times, or does several get shot, or is one person, or what if the shots didn't hit anybody? What if just went in the air and everybody? So, as a writer, you guys can go anywhere with this. And to start off this the opening scenes and opening of another season, you can go anywhere with this. You can totally do whatever you want. It's or if the show ended, what a great ending. So I was like, what happened? What else going on? It's just that's why I wanted to come back on to say I thought you delivered highly. It was much what I wanted. The network is happy.
Oh, well, thank you. You know, it was truly a labor of love to write that episode. Because that episode was written very quickly because everything just fell into place. You know,
we were still up at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, it didn't take a lot to get to where we needed to be, and that episode featured 26 characters, which was the most we've had in an episode. It took like 4 hours and 15 minutes to record. The cast was tired, and we were too. But we just got on through it. And then I think the end result turned out really well. And it kind of reminded me of and I think everybody has used the analogy of the Moldavian massacre on Dynasty, but it reminded me, in my opinion, more of Dynasty's growth, because Dynasty season 1 ended quietly as well, because they didn't know if they were going to be back. All you saw was a woman walking into a courtroom who wasn't even Joan Collins yet. They didn't have that part cast. And then when season 2 ended, Blake has a heart attack. He falls off a cliff from a horse. Alexis and Crystal are being burned alive in a cabin. And then it becomes the primetime soap we all knew and loved. And so with this, I hopefully, think fans will think of this as definitely the jumping off point for a soap they want to be there for, and a soap they want to come back, because it was certainly that kind of jeopardy and stakes for us writing this episode and that cliffhanger.
So James, here's the big question. Here's the huge question we have been asking this throughout the whole today's episode of the After Show. I want to know. Dorell wants to know. We all want to know. Are we getting a season 3 of Forever and a Day? The biggest cliffhanger of today's episode?
So the answer to that question is...
Where'd he go?
He is so bad.
Where did he go?
Just kidding. So after careful consideration, and looking at everything from the network side of things, and I've looked at things from the network side of things, this season, you guys really brought it this season. I think because of what you're writing this season, the promotion that you all did, your actors did, that they really did pull it together and give all their all. And now that I'm working with some of your actors on my other JLJ Media shows, I'm seeing how disciplined they are, how used to the process they are. It's because of you guys. You started first. You guys promote the F out of the show, which I'm very happy about that. We promote it also. You guys do too. So it's a group effort. That's a lot to do. The numbers reflected that. People are now discovering season 1. Those numbers are flying through the roof. It's starting to happen too, because now they know what's going on now, that we are out there. I have people from the industry talking to me about this show, names that you would know and some names you wouldn't know, but they all talk to me and they're all very impressed with the show and how it's growing. And so with all of that, and because this is my network and I want shows that represent me and my aesthetic and what I like, there will be a season 3.
Yay!
I have relit a season 3.
Shantae, we stay.
The network is very, very happy with the show. The show not only doesn't bring for the show itself, it also, like I said, it jumped off the other 11 audio dramas I have on my network. I have more audio dramas on my network than anyone else on any other network in the world. So, but Forever and a Day started that. And so, like I said, and we're using some of the actors on other shows, and it's just Forever and a Day. I wish to stay on forever. I have no end of day. I did a little Candice. We are super happy with the show, and you need very little assistance from me. So I would like to see it continue.
Yes! Thank you. That's exciting.
Well, I told them I want a live episode.
Yes, we need to get one. Hello, we need one.
I keep saying that. I want a live episode somewhere.
That's all Dorell. Dorell's been pushing for that one.
I want it.
Oh.
And also this year, it will be the 1-year anniversary, actually, of the show, too. So let's stay tuned for us. We're talking about that, too. So stay tuned with that.
Well, we are so thankful because of Forever and a Day, for everybody involved here, Dorell and I are able to host this after show, and there's actually more after show. We're not just done with this episode. We actually have a cast reunion that I believe is coming up tomorrow night on Tuesday.
Tomorrow at your regular time, the show would have come out. It'll be out at 3 p.m. Standard Time, noon Pacific. It's already up and uploaded and ready to go, so it will be out tomorrow. And I watched it; it was very cute.
Cannot wait. It was really, really fun catching up with the cast and Casey, Candice, James, Emmy. Thank you guys so much for continuing and creating the show. I love you all so much, and I cannot wait to hopefully, if I didn't get hit with one of those bullets, come back.
Well, thank you guys for hosting this season. It's just been fun. Matthew coming up with the games, theme songs, having fun with the guests. James, you already know. Thank you is not even enough. There's no words, but thank you for believing in us. Casey, you started this. This is all you, buddy. And continuing on. Emmy, girl, you brought your A game, and season 3, baby, y'all ain't ready for this. Y'all ain't ready. We got ideas already. I go to your front, and real quick, thanks to the fans who supported the show from day one. Special shout out to Ashley.
Yes,
Ashley. Yes, Ashley.
And for people who are tuning in and finding us, thank you. You're not going to be disappointed at all. If you love your soaps, you're going to love Forever and a Day. We deliver.
Real quick, because the fans, we love to have them follow us on the social media because, hey, that makes our numbers go up as well. Emmy, where can they find you on social media if you are on social media?
Oh, Hunty, I am so on social media. I am across the board, including TikTok, where I'm famous. Miss Emmy Morgan. I'm on Instagram at the same name. I have a Facebook page. Yeah, you can find me. You can stalk me if you want. It's fine. Especially you, Donovan. I'm just kidding.
Share that because you get it. I love it. So Candice, again, where can people find you on social media?
Okay, you guys can find me on Twitter at Candy Poo. You can find me on TikTok at CandyMac82. You can find me on Instagram at CandyMac82. Of course, Soap Party 411. And you can find me, with these great people at Forever and a Day on Facebook, FAAD Podcast on Insta and on Twitter.
Wonderful.
Hey Casey, question for you.
Yeah.
Where can they find you? Did you see that question coming? I don't know. Did you?
I did not.
What? You did not.
It's just, gosh, such a great
Gooner.
Gooner. So yes, you can find me at KCS Hutch on Twitter. You can find our show, like Candice said, at FAAD Podcast. You can find me on Facebook if you want, Casey Hutchison. I'm trying to use Instagram a little bit more. I know I get a lot of flack for that. But C_Hutchison99. I'll try and use it a little more. We'll see. I don't know.
No, he won't.
I love that. He won't. I have to say, I love following Casey because Casey can cook. Casey likes to eat. His mom is adorable. His nephew is adorable. Follow Casey. But most importantly, I need Casey to cook for me because he loves to be in the kitchen. And you know what?
Show.
And Casey seasons his food. Casey, you season.
Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
I
Yes,
have
he
garlic
does.
powder. I have a lot more than salt and pepper in my cupboards.
I know that's right. Sis.
Yep. And he wouldn't put raisins in potato salad either.
Okay.
Baby. Mr. James Lott, tell us where we can find you.
So first of all, though, thank you, Dorell and Matthew, for hosting this show, taking over for me and Tony Moore during the season.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. We believe in the after show. That's what we do here on JLJ Media. We support the after show, supports the show. Actually, JLJ Media is the network. I'll be celebrating a year old in June. So go ahead and follow us on JLJ Media across all social media platforms, on every audio streaming service and YouTube. And of course, you can follow me. We're all James Lott Jr. sold at James Lott Jr. on all social media platforms. And I am a TikTok star because I have a dumb video that went viral. But it got 10 million copies and views and going. So if you put bread in the refrigerator, you'll know what I'm talking about. So that's out there too. And I just want to say that I have a bunch of other shows on here too, with some of your favorite Forever and a Day actors on them. The Easter Hare, Cupid's Crossing, Mistletoe Road, Claws the Series, Really Short Story Podcast, Manchester Avenue and Fairview Heights. They are all out there for you to listen to and have a great time. So please check those out. They are out and they're running and it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Perfect. Well, you can find me at Dorell Anthony on Twitter. There might be some things I like that might be a little dirty, but if you want to, you can.
We know where to find you, Dorell.
You know where to find me. Also find me. Yeah, my Twitter is a little nasty, whatever. And you can also find me on Instagram at I am Dorell Anthony. You can also find me on Facebook, Dorell Anthony actor page. And also, I also host the Believe in Soap Opera with co-host Patricia Lyons every month. So please check that out. Also check out Pride the Podcast that will be airing also today. And then continue to watch Pride the series. We're coming up on Pride Month. You know, we just want to continue to be prideful, not just in our sexualities, but who we are as people, and just give more love. And this has been an amazing season of this show, and I wouldn't have it any other way. And I love doing it with the handsome Matthew Preston. Where can they find you, baby?
Well, they can find me on Instagram at Mama Lou Lover NO1.
Oh, for God's sake!
That doesn't exist yet. I'll make it happen. But no, you can find me on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram at mprestonnyc, or you can find me on my personal website, matthewpreston.me. That is my website. I forgot for a second.
Wow. Didn't even have your plug ready.
By the way, congratulations again. This has been such a thrill, such a joy for Candice, just for hosting with everyone here and being able. And Emmy, just what you brought to the table, and James, always just being creative light that you are. We are forever thankful for this amazing project that has brought everyone together. So many listeners, so many fans, so many soap opera lovers like ourselves here. So from all of us at the Forever and a Day After Show, we want to say thank you. And also do not forget to tune in for season 3 whenever that comes out. So be well, be safe, and be
We're all my children.
Bye, everyone.
You are young and restless. Bye.